Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something totally mind-bending. We're going on a journey into one of the most profound, mysterious, and frankly, visually shocking spiritual traditions in human history. We're talking about the esoteric secrets of ancient Tantra. But we're not just going to sit here and talk abstract philosophy. No, we're going to look directly at the powerful, hyper-realistic, and sometimes totally terrifying manifestations of the divine feminine. So buckle up, because this is going to completely shatter your conventional ideas of what a deity can actually be. Right off the bat, I want you to hold this one central question in your mind for us today. How can the ultimate symbol of life, the cosmic mother, be depicted as a terrifying goddess of death? It's a huge paradox, right? I mean, in a lot of traditions, the divine is strictly beautiful, peaceful, comforting. But as we're about to see, true cosmic wisdom actually demands that we confront the deepest, darkest aspects of existence. It's about finding the sacred hidden literally right inside the taboo. The ancient sage Vasishtha Ganapati Muni hit the nail on the head when he said this. All here is a mystery of contraries. Darkness, a magic of self-hidden light, suffering, some secret rapture's tragic mask, and death, an instrument of perpetual life. It's heavy stuff, I know. But we're about to journey through this exact spectrum today, going straight from absolute darkness and suffering right into that magic of self-hidden light and boundless rapture.
Part 1. The 10 Great Wisdoms. Introduction to the Dasha Mahavidyas.
Okay, let's dive right in. The whole core of this tradition revolves around a specific pantheon of 10 goddesses, and they're called the Dasha Mahavidyas. Let's break that down real quick. Dasha means 10, Maha means great, and Vidya means wisdom. Basically, these are 10 distinct forms of the Hindu mother goddess, Shakti or Krovati, and they represent the absolute ultimate esoteric truths of Tantra. And what makes them so incredibly unique is that they represent finding the sacred in, well, absolutely everything. They personify a consciousness that completely embraces the entire universe. The beautiful, the grotesque, the peaceful, the violent, the whole shebang. To really make sense of these 10 profound wisdoms, it helps to map them onto the actual journey of a spiritual practitioner. First, we start off with the fierce ego destroyers, the ones who completely shatter our illusions. Next, we confront the radical paradoxes. These are the deities that push us way past societal taboos. Then, rising from all that destruction, we ascend to the sovereigns of the cosmos, where we experience ultimate beauty. And finally, we arrive at the bestowers of abundance. This is where deep spiritual realization actually blossoms into real-world empowerment. Part 2. The fierce ego destroyers, descending into the cosmic battlefield. So we actually begin our ascent by plunging straight into the untamed forces of nature. First up is Mahakali. Just picture this hyper-realistic, super intense atmosphere. She's standing right in the middle of a cosmic battlefield at night, totally surrounded by dark clouds and cracking lightning. Her skin is this incredibly realistic, deep, pitch black or dark blue, literally darker than the dead of night. She's got glowing red eyes, wild flowing black hair, and yes, a terrifying garland of human skulls. She's got 4 arms holding a sword and a trident, all lit up by this intense sacred fire. It's an imposing image for sure, but here's the secret. Her terrifying darkness, that is actually pure consciousness. She devours time itself. She literally destroys our illusions just to preserve our true spiritual essence. Now, emerging right out of Kali's darkness, we have Tara. And you can feel the immediate shift in the atmosphere here. She's sitting on a lotus under this deeply mystical moonlit sky, glowing with stars. She still has that brilliant blue complexion, and she's holding a curved blade alongside a lotus. But her expression, it's so calm, anchored by this massive celestial aura. Adorned in golden ornaments and a stunning, highly detailed silk sari, she casts these deep cinematic shadows. You see, in the tantric tradition, Tara is the guiding light. She's the compassionate divine energy that physically rescues her devotees, pulling them across the stormy, terrifying ocean of worldly suffering. She's absolutely fierce, but at her core, she's a rescuer. And that brings us to our third ego destroyer, Bhairavi. While her secret geometric yantra represents her raw, structural energy, the goddess herself is visualized with this fiercely divine expression and a volcanic, fiery red aura. Just imagine her standing inside an ancient temple that is entirely engulfed in flames. She's wearing a traditional red sari, holding sacred weapons, and illuminated by this incredibly cinematic, realistic firelight that catches every detail of her jewelry. She is the literal goddess of dissolution and decay. But remember our paradox from earlier? This destruction isn't a bad thing. It's the absolutely necessary, burning fire of transformation. Without it, new creation simply cannot happen. Part 3. Radical paradoxes of life, confronting the taboo. All right, so having faced the fires of dissolution, Tantra now asks us to do something incredibly difficult, to find the divine within absolute taboos. Take Chinnamasta, the self-decapitated goddess. The visual here is, well, it's intense. She's standing on a lotus against this dramatic, stormy, mystical sky, literally holding her own severed head. And these symbolic streams of divine energy in the form of blood are spurting from her neck to feed her attendants. Oh, and she's standing on a copulating couple. It is a scene of hyper-realistic gore mixed with intense eroticism. It's shocking, right? But the spiritual meaning behind it is absolutely breathtaking. The decapitation represents the ultimate removal of the ego. That blood is cosmic maternal nourishment. It's all about the awakening of the Kundalini energy shooting right up the spine. By transcending the duality of life and death, she's showing us that true, selfless giving requires total surrender. Then we have Dhumavati, and the vibe here shifts to this incredibly smoky, cinematic fog. She's the ancient, mystical widow goddess, riding in on an old sacred chariot. Her face is highly realistic. You can see deep wrinkles and this profoundly mysterious expression. She's draped in ash-colored robes and completely surrounded by a flock of flying crows. Now think about it. In traditional society, a widow associated with crows and smoke would be considered highly inauspicious. But in Tantra, this haunting, divine aura actually teaches the supreme wisdom of detachment. She forces us to look past all our illusory appearances and find absolute peace, even when literally everything else has been stripped away. Part 4. Sovereigns of the Cosmos, the Upward Ascent. Now, leaving the cremation grounds behind, we enter this incredibly radiant ascending phase with Bhuvaneshwari. As the queen of the universe, she is depicted against a vast, stunning, cosmic galaxy background. She has this beautifully serene, motherly face, a royal crown, celestial ornaments, and she radiates this glowing golden red aura right from her lotus throne. And alongside her is her yantra, which represents the geometric expansion of the cosmos itself. The ancient sources actually tell us that her body comprises all 14 realms of the universe. So that expanding space behind her, that is literally the fabric of reality. Meditating on her is said to enhance completely boundless creativity. From the vastness of deep space, we condense into the ultimate beauty of the three worlds with Tripura Sundari. Picture a heavenly palace totally bathed in this gorgeous, cinematic fantasy lighting. She's seated on a golden throne, radiating a super soft pink aura of absolute youthful beauty. Her intricate jewelry and jewel-decorated crown just vibrate with light as she sits surrounded by lotus flowers. Now notice what she's holding, a sugarcane bow and 5 flower arrows. But these aren't weapons of war. The sugarcane bow actually represents the human mind, and the flower arrows, those are our 5 senses. She represents total, beautiful, absolute mastery over human consciousness.
Part 5. Bestowers of Divine Abundance, the Final Fruition.
Here is where all that intense spiritual realization finally blossoms into tangible, worldly empowerment. Take Baglamukhi, for example. Literally everything about her radiates this intense golden yellow hue. Her attire, her glowing divine aura, her golden throne, all set against a sacred temple background under dramatic lighting. She wears this incredibly powerful expression, holding a club in her right hand while symbolically pulling the tongue of an enemy with her left. And this hyper-realistic action is deeply profound. You see, that enemy actually represents negative forces, our own internal turmoil, and the harmful speech of others. Baglamukhi holds the divine power to completely freeze, stun, and paralyze negativity before it can even manifest. Next up is Matangi, who is often called the Tantric Saraswati. Imagine this mystical forest palace, completely illuminated by an emerald green aura with breathtaking fantasy lighting. She is deeply artistic, decorated with intricate ancient jewelry and highly realistic flowing silk textures. She's playing the vena, surrounded by parrots, and this undeniable, almost tangible musical spiritual energy. She embodies the supreme power of divine speech, art, and music. She literally brings the deep, unutterable truths of the cosmos all the way down into beautiful, articulated human expression. And finally, we reach Kamala, the Tantric Lakshmi.
And wow, this is an ultra-detailed masterpiece of realization. She's sitting on a blooming lotus right in the middle of a golden lake during a heavenly sunrise. Elephants are blessing her with water, and a literal shower of gold coins surrounds her luxurious, perfectly textured golden sari. She wears a radiant smile, totally immersed in this divine aura of prosperity. She's the ultimate realization of cosmic wealth, fertility, and abundance. But keep in mind, we're not just talking about material wealth here. This is that profound spiritual abundance that only arrives after you've survived the terrifying fires of Kali and Bhairavi.
Part 6. Embracing the cosmic spectrum.
So this brings us full circle. And the absolutely crucial point is this. These 10 goddesses, the Dasha Mahavidyas, are not actually separate beings. No, they are distinct forms of one single universal energy. True wisdom, according to the sources we've been analyzing today, is the ability to embrace both terror and beauty equally. You literally cannot have the preservation and creation of Kamala without the destruction of Mahakali. The path to ultimate liberation demands that we stop looking away from the dark and instead actually confront and accept every single aspect of existence.
This whole idea is so beautifully summarized by a really profound philosophical truth derived from the imagery of Chinnamasta we saw earlier. It goes like this. Life feeds on death, is nourished by death, necessitates death, and the ultimate destiny of sex is to perpetuate more life, which in turn will decay and die in order to feed more life. It's a heavy thought, but it completely grounds all these shocking, hyper-realistic gore and intense energy we've seen today into a fundamental, undeniable law of nature.
Which leaves us with one final thought to ponder. The tantric path, as you can probably tell, is definitely not for the faint of heart. It asks you to look at the absolute totality of the universe without blinking. So having seen the raw, unfiltered power of the Mahavidyas today, the real question is, will you embrace the full spectrum of existence, both the terrifying darkness and the radiant light? Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive in today's explainer, and I really hope this sparks your curiosity to explore these incredible ancient wisdoms even further.